Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician. Today we're going to be going into the GR86 and we're going to be installing the Whiteline rear sway bar. I did order the full kit, so we have the front and rear, but today we're going to be focusing on the rear sway bar. I'll have a dedicated video for the front sway bar. So I'm going to show you everything that's included, and then we'll go over removing the OEM sway bar and installing the new one. Depending on your exhaust setup, your suspension, you may have to remove different things, whether that be the lower control arm or your exhaust or a portion of it so it's not in the way. I'm going to try and do mine without removing the exhaust and just possibly, I'm going to have it up in the air. I'm going to remove the wheels. We're not going to do any final torquing until it's at ride height. That's the best time to finalize any torque settings, but I'm going to try to do it with removing as little as possible, but it can be kind of tricky on these, especially, it all just depends on what your setup is. So let me go ahead and show you guys what we got, and then we'll get it installed. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer it for you guys. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to smash that thumbs up, and if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Let's go ahead and get into this. Here you can see the rear and front sway bar. Obviously we're going to be focusing on the rear today. The stock sway bars are an 18 and a 15 on the GR86, and I think a 18.3 and 14 on the BRZ. These from Whiteline are going to be 22 millimeter and 16 millimeter. These are both solid. I believe the BRZ has a hollow. I can't remember if it's front or rear, but GR86 are both solid sway bars, so you're just going to see a 4 millimeter change and a 1 millimeter change. And then with the front sway bar, you have 2 stiffness adjustment points or mounting points, and then the rear you're going to have 3. So this is your softest setting, medium, and hardest setting. We'll probably be going with the medium to start out with. And then everything supplied in this kit. I do have the front stuff over here, but we're going to be focusing on the rear. The kit does include the adjustable rear sway bar end links, hardware, and spacers. So these spacers will sit on here, and this drops into the lower control arm. Depending on what setting you're going with, the soft, medium, or hard is going to depend on where you locate these spacers. They do supply you with some thick washers for when installing here, but I see that they've already included the washers on here, so I believe these are just extras. Then for some reason you get some bushing lubricant, and you will get kind of some general instructions with the install on those, not vehicle specific. And then once again, once you get everything installed after about 60 miles, so you want to recheck everything. And they're going to supply you with the lateral lockout that's going to clamp around the sway bar to keep any side movement. We'll get to that in a little bit. You get your bushings, which are a big upgrade from the rubber ones. And these are grease free. They have a PTFE lining, so it says it does not need grease, like you can see here. So I don't know why they supply grease. It even tells you if you have grease on it to remove as much of the grease as possible, and only to use lubricant if any of the instructions state in specific spots. I don't have any of that, but it just looks like they include bushing lubricant with basically every kit that they send out. And then we also have the support braces that go from the subframe to the sway bar bushing bracket, so this will stiffen it up. These are side specific, so you're going to have holes on one side, not on the other. So whatever side you put this on, the drain holes need to be facing down. That's just to allow water out. So that is a look at the stuff we're going to be installing today. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to get the car up in the air, get the wheels off, and then we'll get to removing the factory sway bar. Okay, so here we're just taking a look at it. You can see my rear control arms are aftermarket, so the fastener size is going to be different. Subframe side of this, which we'll need to remove the nut to install the brace that connects from here to here, that's a 17. These are 12 millimeter bolts up here for the sway bar bushing brackets. Also keep in mind that torque specs are going to be different. I believe the factory is like 22 foot-pounds here and like 28 for the sway bar end link. You'll have to double check that, but mine are going to be different because the fastener size and grade are different. And as far as my kit, no new hardware was included. So now that I've done this, I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side. Now I have it released on that side. You can see the, well, you might be able to see the sway bar end link hanging out over there. I'm going to remove it from this side now. Easy peasy. As you can see, you want to take into account the direction the sway bar is going. You can see it goes in an upward direction across the center, so you want to make sure that you install your sway bar the same direction and not upside down. With the factory sway bar, you can see the very thin end links, the rubberized bushing portion. Makes for a lot of deflection and play in there under hard cornering. Also with the rubber bushings, you do have this stamped or tack welded lateral lock in here. That's basically what we're going to be bolting on to this bar later. So we'll be installing the grease-free bushings and the sway bar end links. Let's go ahead and get these bushings installed. They just have an opening here that you'll slip over the ends. Now you can go ahead and take your sway bar end link, and you want to kind of adjust it to the same length as the factory. If you've got the car lowered, then you'll have to make adjustments to the sway bar end links to make sure that you're keeping the sway bar close to 90 degrees. These just have plastic caps over them. So I'm going to go ahead and get these set. And then these will install with a washer on each side of the sway bar. So here we have everything installed on the sway bar, just lightly snugged up here. And then we got the bushings installed on both sides, and the end links adjusted to roughly what the OEM length is. Once again, you'll have to make adjustments if your car is at a different ride height. And then we're going to be using these in the rear on the control arm. So now we are ready to install. Just remember to put it in the right direction. And we'll try and sneak it above the exhaust. Over there real quick. Definitely see where this is going to be a problem. Okay, so we're able to get the sway bar out, but we can't get the new sway bar in. So I'm just going to simply remove here and here and drop the control arm out of the way on one side and see if that'll allow me to get the access I need to get this off. Now we should be able to swing that out of the way. Literally an extra 2 minutes of work. And I'm just going to leave the nut off of this side because the brace is going to have to get mounted there anyways. So I'll just kind of get my bushings lined up. So I personally had to loosen up this fastener here to get the sway bar end links installed, just because the SPL design it sandwiches them together once you start torquing everything down. So once I was able to loosen this, I was able to basically spread the lower control arm far enough to get the sway bar end link in. I mean, it was a very, very small amount to get it in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, but I'm just going to run the fastener through to hold it in place over here. So now I have this sway bar end link installed, so it should hold it in place over here while I make adjustments to that side. So we got both of the end links just installed. They're not tight or anything like that. They're just sitting in their locations on both sides. Now I'm going to take the bushing bracket, reinstall it on both sides, which is going to be the two 12mm fasteners. I'm going to just reinstall the fastener for my shock. And of course, then we're going to install the brace, since I forgot that. So it just slides over here, make sure the drain holes are on the bottom. So here we have the sway bar end link installed, everything's still loose. Same thing with the sway bar bushing. So once I get it lowered on the ground, I'll come in and I will torque everything to spec. Once again, my specifications are going to be different than the factory. So if you're installing this with factory hardware, then you want to follow the OEM specifications as far as torque. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing to the other side. Now that we have everything installed on both sides, we're going to go ahead and install the lateral locks. One thing you want to do before installing these is to make sure you adjust your sway bar from left to right. Make sure the spacing is the same on both sides. Make sure you don't have 4 inches of sway bar coming around over here and the sway bar pushed up against the mount on the other side. You want to make sure that it's even from left to right. Then you're going to take your lateral lock out. And when you install these, you can install them on either side of the bushing, but they both need to be on the same side. So if you do the outside, then it needs to be on the outside of the other side of the vehicle as well. If you do it on the inside, the other one needs to be on the inside. Just drop it around there. And then when you go to tighten this down, it needs to be around 3 or 4 millimeters from the bushing. So I'm just gonna get these snugged up and then we'll kind of get it spaced out. And make sure you got a space in between here. It doesn't need to be butted right up against the bushing. And these don't have to be super tight either. Just snug them up. And I've already done the other side. So as you can see there, leave a gap. And now everything is installed. So now all I have to do is put the wheels and tires back on, get it at ride height, and then I'll torque everything to spec. So after my torque wrench decided to have a set screw back out and the calibration get all messed up, I had to go back through with another torque wrench and recheck all of my torque settings, but we got it all done. Honestly, this should take you maybe, it probably took me an hour and a half total, maybe 2 hours, and that's with recording, so maybe an hour and 15 minutes, just depending on how much access you have and what kind of situation you're working in. But overall, very easy job to do, just takes a little bit of time. And in the next video, we'll be doing the front. That is a look at the Whiteline rear sway bar, the adjustable end links, and we did make sure to go ahead and tighten those down, both at the same length. Sway bar is centered. Then we've got the braces on there. So that is the install for the Whiteline rear sway bar kit. Next, we'll be doing the front. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to drop a comment down below. And as always, if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.